Thank you for being here one more week with me. If you're here, it's because something resonated with you. Maybe that title hit a little too close to home. Signs you're repeating trauma in your relationships. And I want you to know something before we start. If you've been repeating patterns that don't serve you, you're not broken. You're stuck in a cycle that your brain created to protect you from past relationships or even when you were a child. But today we're going to break that cycle. The next 10 minutes could change the way you see your relationships forever. Let's begin.
Welcome to All About Dating, the podcast where faith meets love and healing opens the doors to your heart's deepest desire. I am Patty Martin Guerra, your host and life coach, and I'm here to guide you on a transformative journey. Whether you're navigating the world of dating apps, healing from past relationships, or ready to manifest the love you truly deserve, this is your safe place to grow, heal, and discover your divine worth. Each week, we'll explore practical strategies for authentic dating, dive deep into healing past traumas, and align your heart with God's beautiful plan for your love life. Because, sister, you deserve nothing less than extraordinary love. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future." So open your heart and let's discover how to date with divine purpose.
So let's go straight to the point. These are the signs that you're repeating trauma in your relationships. I'm going to give you 6 signs that you're repeating trauma in your relationships. Sign number 1. You always attract the same type of men with different face. They may have different names, different jobs, but in the end, they all make you feel the same. Invisible, not enough, or emotionally abandoned. Why? Because your inner child seeks what's familiar, not what's healthy. If you grew up feeling like you had to earn love, you're going to attract men who confirm that narrative. Sign number 2, you feel responsible for fixing or saving your partner. You tell yourself, if I just give him more love, if I'm more patient, if I do more, he'll change. But here's the truth. You're creating the dynamic from your childhood where you believed that if you were good enough, you finally received the love you needed or the attention you wanted. That didn't work then, and it won't work now. Sign number 3, you ignore red flags on early dates because everyone has issues. That's the lie you tell yourself. You see warning signs, lack of communication, inconsistency, dismissive comments, but you justify them. Nobody's perfect, you tell yourself. But there's a difference between nobody's perfect and this person isn't emotionally available for me. Your trauma trains you to minimize your needs. Sign number 4, you stay way longer than you should. When a relationship clearly isn't working, you hold on. Because leaving means facing the abandonment your inner child fears the most. Better the pain you know than the unknown, you tell yourself. Sign number 5, you feel like you have to constantly earn love. You can't relax and simply be loved. You're always proving your worth. Being perfect, people-pleasing, sacrificing, because somewhere deep down, you believe love has to be earned, not freely given. And sign number 6, your relationships follow the same pattern. Intensity at first, disappointment later. The cycle is predictable. It starts with butterflies, promises, incredible chemistry, then slowly disappointment sets in. And before you finish understanding what happened, you're in the same story again with someone new. Do you recognize yourself in any of these? If so, breathe. Because recognition is the first step to healing. Now let's talk about why this happens. Your brain has something called repetition compulsion. Basically, your subconscious tries to resolve past traumas by creating them in the present. Sounds crazy, right? But it makes sense if you think about it. Let's say as a child you experienced emotional abandonment. Your father wasn't present or your mother was critical and cold. Your child brain thought, if I can just make this person love me, I'll be enough. But you never achieved it because that wasn't your job. It was their job to love you unconditionally. And now as an adult, your subconscious keeps trying to finish that story. Finally, it keeps seeking emotionally distant men to finally win that love you never received. But you can't fix the past in the present. You can't heal your father wound through your boyfriend. You can't resolve your mother's rejection by finding a man who validates you. Healing doesn't come from recreating trauma. It comes from recognizing it, feeling it, and choosing differently. And this is where God's word comes in. Romans 12:2 tells us, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind, your patterns, your beliefs, your programming needs to be renewed. You can't keep operating from the trauma of your 7-year-old self. You need the transformation that only comes from God. The old, the patterns, the traumas, the limiting beliefs is gone. The new is here. But you have to believe it. You have to walk in the new identity. So how do you break the cycle? Let's go step by step. Step number 1, identify your primary one. What message did you receive as a child about love? What had to happen for you to feel love? What were you missing? Maybe it was presence. Maybe it was validation. Maybe it was emotional safety. Name that wound, because what you don't name, you can't heal. Step number 2, recognize how that wound shows up in your adult relationships. How does your abandonment wound look in the way you tolerate inconsistent men? How does your rejection wound look in the way you settle for crumbs of attention? Connect the dots. Your past is writing your present if you don't interrupt it. And step number 3, talk to your inner child. This is not optional. You have to go back to that version of you who formed those beliefs and tell her the truth. You didn't have to earn love. You were always worthy. What happened wasn't your fault. You deserve to be loved without conditions. Tell her the things she needed to hear, but no one told her. And step number 4, set boundaries, not from fear, but from your worth. Boundaries aren't walls. They're statements of dignity. When you know what you deserve, you stop tolerating what you don't. No more giving one more chance to men who show you who they are. No more justifying unacceptable behavior. No more betraying yourself to keep someone close. And step number 5, interrupt the pattern in the moment. The next time you feel that intense, instant chemistry with someone, pause and ask yourself, is this chemistry or is it trauma recognizing trauma? Because sometimes what feels like destiny connection is really your nervous system saying, this feels familiar. And familiar doesn't always mean healthy. Step number 6, seek professional help. If you're a woman who's tired of feeling like damaged goods or wondering if all good men are taken, I need you to listen up. You're not broken. You're not too old. But here's the truth. When you're dating after divorce, that's how you end up repeating the same painful patterns. Inside my membership, Christian Dating After Divorce, you'll get proven vetting framework to recognize red flags early. Weekly coaching calls to work through real dating situations and a community of women who actually get what you're going through. Now, we're not here to discuss religion or debate theology. This is about practical dating guidance rooted in faith and values. No more settling out of fear. No more ignoring your gut. No more giving your heart away to men who haven't earned it. Right now, I'm looking for a few founding members to lock in 50% off for life. Even when the price goes up, and with everything this membership offers, the price will go up soon. Ready to stop guessing and start dating with confidence? Because you deserve the love that honors you. And it's time to believe that's possible. I will leave a link in the show notes for you to reach out to me for more information. Please do it as soon as possible before this offer closes. Step number 7, surrender everything to God. Because at the end of the day, you can't change your heart by yourself. Only God can. Ezekiel 36:26 promises, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from your hearts of stones and give you a heart of flesh. Ask Him to give you a new heart, one that isn't programmed by pain, One that's open to real love, healthy love, God's love. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. Breaking these patterns isn't easy. You're going to have days when you want to go back to what's familiar, when that toxic guy is going to reach out and you're going to feel tempted. But every time you choose differently, you're rewriting your story. Every time you set a boundary, you're saying, I matter. Every time you walk away from what doesn't serve you, you're honoring the little girl who never had that option. And over time, what was difficult becomes natural. What was unfamiliar becomes your new normal. And you start attracting what you deserve, not what you're used to. The right man, the man that God has for you won't trigger your trauma. He'll be a safe space where you can heal. But first, you have to stop choosing the one to keep you safe. Before you go, here are the key points. Number 1, if you always attract the same type of men, ignore red flags, or feel responsible for fixing your partner, you're repeating trauma. Number 2, your brain recreates past trauma, trying to quote-unquote resolve it in the present. But you can't heal childhood wounds through adult relationships. Number 3, breaking the cycle requires identifying your primary wound, talking to your inner child, setting boundaries from your worth, and interrupting patterns in the moment. Number 4, God promises to renew your mind. Romans 12:2 says, and give you a new heart. Ezekiel 36:26 says, surrender your patterns to Him and ask for transformation. And number 5, the right love doesn't trigger trauma. It heals it. But first, you must stop choosing what's familiar and start choosing what's healthy. You deserve healthy love. And it starts with loving yourself enough to break the cycle. Thank you for listening. Until next time, blessings.
Thank you for joining me on today's episode of All About Dating. Remember, your healing is holy work, your standards are sacred, and your love story has already been written by God Almighty. Before you go, please take a moment to reflect on today's message. How is God calling you to show up differently in your dating life? What healing work is He inviting you to embrace? If today's episode touched your heart, please share it with your sister who needs to hear this message. Together, we're creating a community of women who refuse to settle for nothing less than what she deserves. Be a blessing to me and leave me a review to help me reach more women around the world. Until next time, keep dating with purpose, healing with grace, and trusting in God's perfect timing for your love story. This is Patty Martin Guerra reminding you, you are loved, you are worthy, and your happily ever after, it's on its way. Blessings and love.